we came up with this thought, let's do a glass bottom pool.
Our team at the ground level, they visit sites, they understand what is the space to be divided.
See how you can double up the spaces. You double up, maybe in the daytime it's a workspace and the nighttime it becomes your home.
You know, hidden pleasure when you're playing with the wardrobe door and it goes silently and shuts.
Sliding systems are so easy to handle. A kid opens and kid pushes it. They play with it. At the end of the day, they have to save.
Correct.
Silent system works for both. One is low noise, second, slow closure.
Good design doesn't shout, it settles and stays with you. It's in the quiet hinge, the soft close, the rhythm of use. You feel it in the way you move, reach, pause, live. Ever wondered what actually brings the spaces we live in to life? Well, it's time to meet the minds that make the real magic happen. Hello and welcome to another episode of Hettich Presents Living with Magic. I am Ronita Italia, Editor-in-Chief of Good Homes India. And today I have here with me someone whose work I have always admired, whose work has not only shaped skylines, but also shaped the way we think about living well. Guys, please welcome architect Reza Kabul. With a portfolio that stretches from the skyline of Mumbai to projects across Africa, Thailand, and San Francisco, Reza has literally shaped how we live vertically. Joining us yet again, we have here Mr. P.K. Kishore, Head of Product Management at Hettich India, who continues to show us how innovation and hardware and movement can reshape every day. Okay, I'm going to jump right in. I want to know, apart from the ease of working, which part of the world has been the most interesting for you?
If you ask me, I think if I have to answer this question, it's basically every location, every project is different. What happens is you have to, every time you're looking at a site, whether it's in India, whether it's in the US, whether it's in Dubai, whether it's in Africa or the San Francisco, you have to see the context. You have to understand the end user. You have to see the location. You have to see the surroundings, because you're not building only for that site. You have to see the context. You have to see the people who are living around and the people who are going to be the end user. And only then you can design something. And I think, to answer your question, every project is different.
Of course.
And you have to look at it differently.
Of course. Anything that has changed the way you've thought or designed in particular? Anything that you've been through, an experience that has stayed with you till date?
So, I remember back in the days when I started, it was about 30 plus years ago. I had a project which was on the Marine Drive, and it was a hotel. It was an existing building and it comes in the present, it's a heritage present. So we had to redesign the hotel, refurbish it rather, because the structure was already there. It was, I don't know how many years, it was a Art Deco present.
Wow.
And we had to maintain the facade. It was not designed as a hotel building. It was designed as a residential building, converted partly into a hotel. And my clients wanted to do it into a 5-star. And when we got in, we wanted to really change it. But the facade, they did not allow. Inside, we really turned the whole project. It was today's Marine Plaza.
Oh, lovely.
So we thought, we converted it into a 5-star and we wanted to do a pool. The space was limited. And we carved out a space in the center. We put an atrium in the center, and we have all the rooms which are facing the outside.
That's right.
And it's an all-suite room hotel. So when we wanted to put the pool, only location that we had was the terrace. And we could only do it above the atrium which we created. So when we did that, we put the pool on top. the light was getting, the natural light wasn't coming down into the
Atrium.
building
Yeah.
in the atrium. And we had rooms like we had the living room, and then we had the toilets, and then we had the bedroom facing towards the sea. So we came up with this thought, let's do a glass bottom pool.
Yeah.
And at that time, to do a glass bottom pool in India was a big challenge. And we came up with this thing, and I'm really proud. It's been 33 plus years completed, and that pool is standing.
Stands.
And it's a glass bottom pool. You can sit down in the atrium and you can see the water upstairs. And when you're in the water, you can see the atrium downstairs. So that's something I really loved it. And it's an achievement, I think, for India.
Seriously, but honestly, at Marine Plaza, Jeffries has been one of my favorite places to
Yes.
keep going, even today. Ridiculously, but I love to keep going back. Another one that I've always wondered about. Okay, so as a designer, as an architect, you're also designing spaces, and somebody who's inherently looking at space planning, especially when it comes to division of space. Have there been certain priorities that you've had to keep in mind that you specifically do, especially when it comes to space planning?
So you mean dividing spaces, or it's like
Not really. When you're planning the space, we can come to the division of space, because that's something that, of course, you're also demarcating. But when you're just planning, when you've got a block.
when a client just comes to us and he asks us for a design, so what is the thought process that we have?
Your specific.
So what happens is, whenever I get clients, I mean, touch wood, we get them every day practically.
Touch wood.
So when they come in, we listen to the client.
Yes.
Because you got to understand what the client, because he's putting in so much money.
Yes.
And he's putting it on our
trust.
Faith. So we cannot be playing the fool. So we have to really listen to the client. We have to understand what his needs are. And if it's a product which is going to be given to somebody else, so you got to keep the end users in mind as well. And after you listen to the client, you absorb what he said, then you get on into you dive into the design, and you get in and you start working. And then the flow comes.
Correct.
It's just a flow. So you keep on, maybe you put the rooms first, you put the facade first, or there's sometimes, it's an inspiration that you get. Sometimes you get an inspiration from the nature. You pick up something, maybe a tree, and then you move around it, or you pick up the mountains. So it's just, actually, inspiration comes from, best is from nature. And then we pick it up and we get into the design and we go ahead and detail it out. Of course, you take the client's requirements, you take the end user's requirements, and then you put yourself in that place. Would you be able to actually live in that place? Because sometimes there's a client who comes in, he wants a real small, tight place. Sometimes he wants a large place. So we cater to everybody.
You have to.
And we have to be in place of the end user and experience it, how I would like to live, taking it from the clients, and then we design and we come to the end product.
See, it's the same industry we belong, and our products and their creativity has to complement each other. The final result, what a consumer gets, is a combination of both.
Correct.
Architects, when they conceptualize, conceive, they may or may not get the product in the market. That is not a good situation.
Correct.
Ideally, that's why we keep a very close touch with the architect fraternity, designing fraternity.
Yes.
So that what they think and what we have in offering should
align.
Yes, align. And ultimately, we all do it for the consumer.
Yes.
And it has to be the best.
Yes, of course. Planning of space, right? Now I'll come to the actual division of the space, because we're talking. We're also talking urban homes, and the requirement with urban homes is also, one of the primary requirements is for spaces to double up as multiple use, multitasking and all of that, right? So is that something that you have to deal with on a...
So when we are designing something, like if you're designing something for a luxury thing, we don't come across that very often. But
Requirement.
when you're doing something very tight, you're doing you know, a smaller unit, and that unit you want to use it as a maybe a partly a office like a Soho.
Yes.
So it's a small office, home office.
Yes.
So when you're doing something like that, you really have to see how you can double up the spaces. You double up, maybe in the daytime it's a workspace, and the nighttime it becomes your home. So when you're designing that, it becomes a real little challenge how you segregate those areas in that small space alone, how you define that this is the living space and this is your home or your office. So that's a bit of a challenge, but I think we've been achieving it. So like what we do is like we get in the, like maybe we would call them, and you know, we get them, get their input. So how do we divide the space? And in the main, maybe in the daytime, you just open it up and it becomes one.
Correct.
Or sometimes we are doing a room like we are doing a room which is a large room. It's an existing building, and what happens is you can't have such a large room for the hotel. So we have the toilets first, and then we have the living room, and then we have the bedroom. So we take in a divider, which is a collapsible divider, and we segregate the room space from the workspace or the living space. And we give the experience of having both of it in the same room.
It's normal when we get a space, these are called room partitioning systems, what we have. It straight away goes with the what is the span to be covered and what would be, because now we get the inputs from the architects. This is the material we are going to use for the doors, which are supposed to slide and make space. We derive at a weight. Every weight has a different fitting. So it's easy. Our team at the ground level, they visit sites, they understand what is the space to be divided.
Not those
Yes,
site
this
visits.
is- yes,
Actual
yes.
site visits.
It has to happen.
Yeah. Okay.
They have to come to site, they have to see the height of the
Yes.
space, the volume of the space.
Yeah.
Like, suppose if we are designing something like a banquet and we want to have a divisible this thing, it has to be an acoustical
Yeah.
partition
Partition.
between the two. So we work with them and we get the you know, the height, because at times banquets are all 8 meters,
Huge.
9 meters, 7 meters, and then we want certain width of the panel. We want a certain finish on that panel.
Yeah. Yes.
Because it should be acoustical, it should be aesthetic, and it should be movable and functional as well. So we've been working a lot with them and
Directly.
bringing it out.
That I find that very interesting, and even in terms of there's a lot, even in terms almost theatrical, you know, the things that the fittings can do these days. I mean, the way spaces are.
See, you want to open something or get into something, one space to other space, or getting into your wardrobes. You open something which is coming onto your face.
Yes.
It's always better something slides away.
Yes.
Again, anything which is in home is all about emotions.
Correct.
No sound, it shouldn't be heavy, it shouldn't bang. All these are taken care of today. All slidings are silent, move with a finger touch.
Yes.
They should not go and bang. These are the final things which is now a trend.
Yes.
And again, size of the structure, what you're making, what is designed is very important for us, because in sliding, it's all about weight of the fitting. And we covered that at Hettich from the heaviest thing to the
Lightest.
entry levels.
Yes.
Oh, complete range is covered.
Superb. Speaking of emotion, has there been any space that you got sort of attached to after designing, after realization?
So I'll tell you something. I always consider my projects as my kids.
Oh my God.
And you get attached to it. And if you get attached to it, you can really bring the product out well.
Yes, of course.
So that's how you look after a child till it grows up. You
Nurture.
have to nurture the product and see it completing. It grows, and that's it. So after you go and actually stay, you know, so many resorts or hotels we've done, and when we go and stay and you get that feel of it, of course, you feel a nice sensation, very good. You feel very proud, you feel happy. But then, you know, sometimes it is also it's there that you finish the product and you go there and you see, oh my God, I should have done this in a
Correct,
better
of
way.
course. That's always
So,
growth.
yeah, sometimes it is that way. And sometimes it is like you go to a product which you have not designed, you see something and feel, oh my God, I could have done this better. I could have pulled this down and I could have, looked at it in a different way. So that's always playing in the minds. I don't know, it happens with all architects and
Yes, of
designers or just with me.
It's a creative thing, no?
Absolutely.
In my head, I'm thinking now to make me happy, like a walk-in wardrobe. That's
Yep.
something that you get a lot, like the walk-in experience.
Yeah, today everybody wants a closet, they want to have that experience. And earlier we used to have the wardrobes all as closed, you wouldn't see anything inside, and people used to dump
Dump.
things. Now, with the coming in the glass shutters, everybody likes it, and there's lights inside, and everything is organized. So you don't just dump anything because you also feel, no, it's looking bad, and you
Yeah.
like to organize
Yes.
everything. And I think it's changed everything.
Listen, but for what works for me the most, it's almost like this, hidden pleasure when you're playing with the wardrobe door and it goes silently and shuts. I mean, for me, that's such
I
joy.
would like to add one more thing. Hettich has the largest range of wardrobe sliding for home. There is one fitting which we call Wingline L. It's a part of our sliding folding systems. Now think of this as first told about sliding, where you have two doors. You are getting anytime 50% of the wardrobe as an access. You have a sliding folding and you just push it with your finger and 8 feet open. Two doors going right, two doors going left. With a press, no handles. Experience again, silent. So at one motion, one hand motion, you're having 8 feet of your wardrobe space in front of you.
On its own.
So that is one way. And we have something for living room also, like vertical slidings. People want to hide some space, maybe a bar unit. They want to hide it
Hide it.
in the day. Vertical slidings, which open up.
Oh,
and
lovely.
down. It's synchronized.
Correct.
I push one shutter, the other shutter goes up.
Goes up.
So we have many spin fittings also today. We just revolve, closed when you want, open when you want. These are all innovations by Hettich in-house.
Okay, I'm going to now bring you back home to the nitpicky clients when you're planning again residences. What about the need for drama? Like he was mentioning, trends changing and what works globally. Do you get like requests for tech and automation to be integrated,
Absolutely.
or do you do it because it's
No, I mean, there are clients, which insist on doing tech. There are clients which they said, no, we do not want tech. Because if it's the older generation, maybe like me, they feel, tech is not for them. But I use a lot of tech.
Yeah.
I use a lot of tech. So it's like he says, innovation.
You
I keep
evolve
on
into it,
working
yes.
because when I graduated, we worked on drawing boards and everything.
Of
And today
course.
we've done, we've moved on to the basic softwares, and today we are doing 3D and I don't know 4D and everything we are working on, and so we picked it up. So you have to improve, you have to adapt, you have to change with the
You have
requirements.
to. You have
If you do not, you're just sidelined and you're out, you're old, you're dead. That till you're learning, it's fine. The day you stop learning, that's the end of it.
that's also what's interesting is younger members in the team, no? When they bring in, even for you for that matter, younger members in the team coming in with
Absolutely. So they come up with a lot of ideas. Like recently, my son got in, he did his architecture from San Francisco and he's come back. And so he's getting in more softwares. He's
Of course.
more, adapting all the new methods. And so, yeah, you got to move.
Do you sometimes hold your head when you hear him talk and you're just like, what am
Why
I doing?
him? I mean, so many of the new team that comes in, they have different ideas, good ideas. Maybe it's not practical. Then we take those ideas and we make them practical. Because see, when I passed out myself, I didn't know anything. We passed out, with thinking like first class and everything, and you come to office. But education and academy is something different.
Experience.
And when you get on the ground, it's totally different. So we have to groom them. And I like to pick up young team because they come up with different ideas and better ideas.
Yeah, and keeps you on your toes, no?
Absolutely.
Of course, also when you're designing for hospitality, in a certain way, you're also doing numbers, right? It must be madness, no? The rooms, or then do you just work with the design or the plan of one, and then have that replicated across?
In the rooms, yeah, it is about 80% of the rooms are standard.
Correct.
And then we've got, deluxe rooms or maybe junior suites, what we call them, or suites, and then presidential suites. So we have various these things, but then some of them say, no, maybe 2 floors we want it different, 2 floors we want it different. So that's
You have to work it in.
yeah, you have to work it in. So
That's a lot of pressure, no?
life is a pressure.
I want to ask you now, speaking of pressure, when you're designing for yourself, and there are certain requisites that you know that your wife wants at home. Is that scarier? Is that than designing for somebody else who you can convince?
Yeah, it is. It is because, once the project is over, you rarely meet the client again. But here you got to meet every day. So it's going to be a real challenge because if one mistake is going to be repeated 365 days, 24 hours, 24/7.
That's it's a big one.
Yeah, of course.
Also for you at home, no? Do you get to hear it a lot?
No, I give the best to my wife. I don't have to.
Is silence again a prerequisite to a lot of the motion that you weave into work?
Yeah. Because if you're using it for a room, so you have somebody else in the room and you would be disturbing that person if that person is sleeping. So silence is very important.
So that is something that you would specifically look for.
Yes.
Especially when you're looking
Yes.
for a fitting.
Yeah. So you want silence when you're moving the fitting. You want silence if there is some other room next to it.
Door.
So that is important. Again, like I said, if you're doing a banquet, noise traveling between two areas, that is important.
Wow. And is that again has to be
Very, very important. I would just like to add silence because at home you don't want any noise, any wood to wood
You wanna
noise or
maintain the
closing
peace.
noise. Second most important thing, you have kids at home.
Yes.
Safety.
Yes.
Nothing goes in bangs. So before closing, it stops, then travels slowly. So there's no risk of any child getting
Little
hurt.
fingers, little fingers.
Because these sliding systems are so easy to handle. A kid opens and kid pushes it. They play with it.
Correct.
But at the end of the day, they have to save.
Correct.
Silent system works for both. One is low noise. Second, slow closure. That helps.
What about you? When you're generally looking at a space, do you prefer a lot of motion coming into it? Just motion, things moving. Do you prefer that? Or are you looking at a place as, it's an absolutely esoteric question, but this is just picking your brains. When you're looking at a space, would you plan motion for it? Do you like the movement, or would you rather have it?
If you have the space, you don't want motion. If you don't have the space, you're using it for multi-purpose. You're bound to use something which has motion and it serves the purpose as well.
Right. And in terms of, again, I'm going to move you to another continent. In terms of when you're doing, say, for example, in Africa or a Dubai, are those also mostly, or actually tech requirement in those places, does that differ from?
So Dubai, if you talk about Dubai is more tech friendly. Africa, if you're designing something, it depends whom you're designing for. So if it's for the elite, yes, because quite a few of them are having dual nationality. They are in the UK and they come back and they want to make a home or whatever in their hometown. they want to bring in everything that is there overseas. So they don't mind spending, and they're coming with, euros. They're coming with pounds.
Big money.
So they don't mind it because
Big money.
so it's so many times more.
India has a huge population. So kitchen is one, you need 3 wardrobes in a house. So quantity you can understand, it is humongous. And other than Mumbai, space room partitions are very common because
Correct.
people want to create more different zones. I would
Correct.
say. And sliding is a part of kitchens already.
Correct.
Because lifting a shutter, sliding a shutter. Again, the first question: you want something to come onto your face or slide out? It will be slide out.
Yes.
So it is also getting into that trend. So these are major points, and anything in home, as I said, is emotion. People will innovate, and what we give to the consumer is a fitting, not just for opening and closing sake to take out your item. You love doing that.
Correct.
So you're actually playing with it. And this happens.
And especially where doors
Yes,
are concerned.
this movement, this kinematic, what Hettich creates out of its innovation with its fittings. Wingline L, I told you, Topline XL is a big wardrobe, but very smooth. Grand 400 nears the floor to whole ceiling. People open and close just for the sake of feeling it, how
Yes.
smooth it is. It's a practical thing. I saw this happening. So this gives us the pleasure. This is what we thrive for. Giving something unique, people are very, very happy to use
Yes.
day in, day out.
Of course. So I can vouch for that. So has there been any product or solution that you guys had to design or come up with specifically for a certain issue that was brought to you?
Yes, I won't say a specific issue. It was a need which had come up front, like where this is primarily for space where there is a scarcity of space. We, Hettich stands for one topic which is transforming spaces. How does that happen? I have a particular look of my room. I would change the look. The first product which we launched was Fern Spin. Fern Spin is a furniture part which revolves. So I am seeing one side of it when I want. I am seeing the other side, which can be a closed side. And when I want to open
The
it,
one that's there?
yes. Now, once this was done, there was a bigger need which came up. Like, I have a room, I have a kitchen in front of me, and I want the same side to revolve and have a living room or a bookshelf
Oh my
with my
God.
study table beside it.
Oh my God.
Same furniture. So, revolving. This we call room spin.
Wow.
And not yet in
Much,
India,
no?
very soon in India, within this year, we'll showcase that as well. And I'm sure in Mumbai, a place like Mumbai, people would love to have
Of
it.
course. Very popular it'll
And-
be.
Earlier what was happening is we used to design something and then we used to start going and looking for
Yes.
maybe if there was a fitting that was there or if there was something which would change. And also now it's the other way around. So when we get some requirement like this, we go to a vendor like Hettich
Correct.
and we give our requirements. And at times they come up with something or that suits the requirement, or they come up with something, which you can modify and we can do it. So
Yeah.
like necessity is the mother of
Mother of-
invention.
Yes.
So, I mean, demanding client always helps us to come up with something different,
Yes.
and it's always for the better.
How interesting is that? Wow. So, with all this conversation about sliding and swiveling and
Twisting, lifting, turning.
yes, and also being able to map spaces correctly and well, I want to map both your thoughts a little bit. And so, I've got a little game for both of them, which is basically I'm going to give you the beginning of a sentence. and I'd like y'all to finish it.
Okay. Let's try.
I'll try my best.
Just a mind bend, okay? A little bit of a mind. We start with you.
Sure.
If motion had a mood, it would be?
Great.
If motion had a mood,
Fun spin.
okay. And in the end, a drawer or a door should?
Serve the function.
Close silently.
Lovely. All right, we're done with this.
Thank you.
But before we end, I have a question for you. It's something that I've been, primarily, especially in cities like Mumbai, space saving. We've talked about large spaces. We've also talked about not so large spaces that need to be demarcated and zoned out. But what, in terms of space saving, what's your take? How do you tackle that solution or tackle that issue?
So space saving, we can do it in many ways. Like either we can have some kind of a, like he mentioned, some type of like a drop-down dining table, or maybe converting the partition. Maybe you move it around and it becomes your study table, and or your bed just comes out of nowhere, or it comes from the ceiling. So you use volume. You have to use volume. Like even the rooms that we have, if we are using a wardrobe, we use right up to the top. If we have 10 feet, we use right up to the 10 feet, although we don't reach it. But
Correct.
so where they come in and they have the fittings that they've come up with, you can pull down the clothes from the right, from the top shelf where you can't reach it. It comes down and you use it. So
you can literally create space where there's...
Yes. So you use the volume instead of, because your floor space is limited. Okay, you're selling a 500 square feet apartment, you're buying a 500 square feet apartment, and you want all the luxuries and you want everything in that apartment. And by using the volume only, you can do it.
Pat on your back. Congratulations on a job very well done.
Thanks to my R&D team. They're always on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You also did mention that you have a question to ask, Reza.
Yes, of course. I would take this opportunity about just to know your experience of using Hettich fittings.
I think you are very much hands-on. When there's a call to Hettich, the team is always there and they come up with solutions. So we call them as, like, earlier we used to design, I said, we used to design and we used to finish the product, and then we used to start thinking, how do you do it? But today, looking at a design has totally changed. Even like when we design something, we call the entire team, what would be the, like if it's a banquet, how the doors would move and then goes into, hidden area where you do not see it. Sometimes there's a column. So how we would treat it, there's a beam.
Yeah.
So we get the team right at the inception of the design itself. It's no more like we used to finish the design, the building was ready, and then we used to call your guys. But today we do it the other way around. And I think the team is very much proactive. They come in and they help us out at that stage itself.
Thank you so much for the feedback. Thank you so much.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And what he said at the last is actually the key, which was a big problem earlier. People finish a project, you have designed everything, constructed everything. Now you're out to buy the hardware and something gets missed out. But in this journey of designing, if a little bit of consultation just to know what is available right away, and they keep that in mind and design, there will never be a problem.
So it would have been a compromise that, we would have to live with whatever was there and just compromise and use it.
Correct.
But today is the other way around. You design it from the inception itself.
Wow. 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 It's amazing what all can happen when walls start moving. From room dividers to quiet transitions, we've seen and heard about it all today. I'd really, really like to thank both my guests. Reza, thank you so much for removing your time. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Pleasure's mine.
And Mr. Kishore, thank you very, very much. It's been great insight, great learning, just knowing what you guys do behind the scenes.
Thank you so much.
And to you guys, I'd like to say, stay tuned, watch for the next episode because we will be back with more insights, more design conversations, and new guests to tell you all about how to live with magic.